Rifleman Jaswant Singh Rawat, the man who saved Arunachal Pradesh. What's his story? Rifleman Jaswant Singh Rawat was a simple Indian army man born on the 19th of August 1941 at a village in Pauri Garhwal. At an early age of about 19, he joined the Indian Army on the 19th of August 1960, joining the 4 Garhwal Rifles, the famed unit from the Indian Army. During the 1962 war, Jaswant Singh's unit was deployed in the NIFA region. NIFA is the Northeastern Frontier Agency, which is the erstwhile name of Arunachal Pradesh before it became a union territory and then thereafter the state of India. When the troops of the Garhwal Rifles were given an order to retreat back during the Battle of Naunarang, which is during the 1962 war in the Arunachal region, 21-year-old Jaswant Singh refused to leave the battleground and was determined in a display of rare courage and bravery to give a Chinese a tough response whenever the Chinese tried to even attack that area. Although Jaswant Singh was martyred during this battle, but his story of the bravery and the courage displayed by this normal Indian soldier on the day of the 17th of November 1962 shall be remembered for time to come. On the 17th of November, as I just mentioned to you, the Chinese attacked with about 2 or 3 infantry battalions in 3 waves and were beaten back by a small bunch of Indian soldiers positioned at strategic points with their LMGs or their light machine guns. An attempt by the Chinese soldiers dressed up like local Monpas was already pushed back by the Indian soldiers. The Chinese followed this up by attacks towards the Indian position, this time supported by medium machine guns and mortars as well. The Indian Army, although outnumbered and in severe lack of equipment and ammunition, still held their ground. According to the accounts of the Indian Army as well as the local people, it is on the 4th attack that the legend of Rifleman Jaswant Singh, or as he is known as in that area, Baba Jaswant Singh, came out and about and was formed into folklore. During the 4th attack, the Chinese deployed a medium machine gun within about 30 meters range of the Indian bunkers. The situation was pretty much desperate. Second Lieutenant Tandon, who was in charge of that forward post, sensed the gravity of the situation, asked his soldiers to volunteer for a mission to silence the Chinese medium machine gun. 3 soldiers stepped forward. They were Lance Naik Trilok Singh Negi, Rifleman Jaswant Singh Rawat, and Rifleman Gopal Singh Gosen. They volunteered for this perilous and dangerous task. In all the confusion of war and the firing that was taking place both from the Chinese as well as the Indian side, they crawled to up to 15 yards of the Chinese machine gun post. Under the covering fire provided by Trilok Singh, Jaswant Singh as well as Gopal Singh crawled as close as they could to the Chinese bunker. They lobbed their grenades inside the bunker, confusing the Chinese. Jaswant Singh, without caring for his own safety, literally jumped inside the bunker and snatched away the medium machine gun that the Chinese were carrying and attacking the Indian forces with. The second he snatched the Chinese machine gun, he started crawling back towards the Indian side as fast as he could. This, as I mentioned, was being done under the covering fire provided by one of the 3, which was Trilok Singh. Unfortunately, during this entire time, Trilok Singh was hit by enemy fire. Jaswant Singh, with the MMG in one hand, was hit by a bullet straight in his head as just about to reach the trench on the Indian side. The third person, Gopal Singh, was also wounded but managed somehow to reach the Indian trench, dragging the MMG along with him that Jaswant Singh was carrying. This entire action took just about 15 minutes, but it was this 15 minutes that changed the course of this entire battle. The Chinese were so shocked at what happened. Actually, their reactions have been noted to be very weird in that particular circumstance. The 5th and 6th attacks by the Chinese on that very day were also repulsed. This entire attack that the Chinese tried to do on the bunch of these Indian Army soldiers, the bravest of the brave as a matter of fact, cost the Chinese about 300 soldiers dead and wounded. With a very few loss to the Garhwal Rifles, they were able to hold up their positions till the reinforcements arrived. Garhwal Rifles was awarded the battle honor for the Battle of Naunarang. Actually speaking, this is the only battle honor that was provided to an Indian Army unit during the 1962 war. Rifleman Jaswant Singh for his actions taken was awarded the Mahavir Chakra. Also, Lance Naik Trilok Singh Negi and Rifleman Gopal Singh Gosai were awarded the Veer Chakras. Because of the brave action taken by Rifleman Jaswant Singh without caring for his own safety, the post that he was fighting in is now named as Jaswantgarh. Amongst the local populace, Jaswant Singh is known as Baba Jaswant Singh Rawat. His personal belongings from that day of the battle have been kept safe even today at Jaswantgarh. 5 soldiers are allocated out of the units that are serving in that region to take care of Rifleman Jaswant Singh's room. Although it's empty, the soldiers clean up the room, make his bed, serve the morning bed tea at 4:30 a.m., breakfast at 9 a.m. and dinner at 7 p.m. even to this day. According to a local folklore, it is believed that the bed sheets of that room are found crumpled many a times, along with the clothes that he is supposed to wear for the day lay scattered around the room. The people of the army as well as the local villagers in that area still believe Baba Jaswant Singh still guards that post day in and day out. He is the only soldier in the Indian army that has been promoted till this day, even after he is dead. Today, he is at a rank of a major general in the Indian army. His salary is even credited to this day, and the strangest of strangest things, he is granted official leave on various occasions when he had to travel home. This, what I told you, is the official Indian army history of this battle and the courage displayed by Rifleman Jaswant Singh. Locals in that region have a somewhat different version of Jaswant Singh's actions on the November 17th, 1962. They say when his company had fallen back, Jaswant Singh was positioned still alone at his post at about 10,000 feet. He took a help of 2 local Monpa girls named Sela and Noora, who worked as porters to get him the ammunition and the equipment that he would need to fight this battle against the Chinese. Rifleman Jaswant Singh, along with the help of these 2 girls, positioned machine guns and other weapons at various strategic spots, leading the Chinese to believe that there is a huge amount of forces opposing them when they were attacking this post. They did not know they were not attacking a whole battalion. It was just one man with 2 local girls as porters helping him out. It is believed by the locals that the Chinese managed to capture the person who was providing Jaswant Singh's post with some basic food as he fought this battle against the Chinese, who spilled the beans against Rifleman Jaswant Singh, telling the Chinese that there was only one soldier manning that post. The endings of these legends are different though. The first one mentions that Sela, one of the girls helping him out, who died in a grenade attack. Noora was supposed to be captured by the Chinese. Jaswant Singh, realizing that he would be captured as well, shot himself in the head with his last bullet. As per another legend, Sela died by jumping off the cliff to avoid being captured by the Chinese. Sela, they say, had an emotional corner for Rifleman Jaswant Singh, and it was her love for this man that she fought the Chinese with him until her last breath. In this battle, they say even Noora was caught and killed by the Chinese forces. It is also alleged that the Chinese, being so furious of losing so many men to this lone Indian soldier, cut Rifleman Jaswant Singh's head and took it back towards their lines. A Chinese commander who came to know of this soldier's valor was very impressed and returned his head to the Indian party after the end of the war. It is also believed that the Chinese made a brass bust of Rifleman Jaswant Singh, which lies there at the place where this battle took place even today. Regardless of what the reality is, whether the history written by the Indian Armed Forces is real or the legend propagated by the local people in that area about Baba Jaswant Singh, the man who saved Arunachal Pradesh from the hands of the Chinese, is real. It is true that Baba Jaswant Singh, even till this day, guards those posts against any nefarious activities of the Chinese. It is battles like this one, as well as the one at Rizangla under the command of Major Shaitan Singh, Paramveer Chakra, of the 13th Kumaon Regiment, Charlie Company, who took on the Chinese and killed over 1,300 Chinese soldiers in a single round. That gives India a silver lining in otherwise a disappointing war. I am very sure that the legend of Baba Jaswant Singh and the respect that he commands from people of this country, especially from the locals in that area, is going to continue to live on forever and ever. Thank you for watching my videos. Subscribe to my channel, share my videos with your friends, and see you next time with another story of the brave Indian soldier. I say this in every one of my videos and I say it again. Share a thought for the soldiers standing in the battle lines today, once a day, every day. Jai Hind.